All right, I'm gonna keep this video real quick because at its core, it's an invoice template. There's really not too much to it, but there are a couple things that we've, kind of coded in the background of this template to make it work the way it does. And if you don't know those things, it can kind of lead to it being somewhat frustrating. And it's just because there's like a certain way to, the way it's coded to like calculate certain things. So I want to take a quick moment and walk through that real quick. Kind of zoom this out a little bit. So the first thing you may want to do is adjust this logo. Very straightforward. All you need to do is navigate in Apple Pages to Sell. You'll see the logo here. And then here you can actually choose wherever on your computer your logo might be. And we find that the scale to fit or scale to fill work the best. Obviously, if you start to like mess around too much, it starts to like kind of punch in on the logo. So honestly, just kind of leaving that to scale to fit, in my opinion, works the best. And we've added these two little columns here on like row number 2 and 4. So depending on your logo size, if you want to like make it bigger, you can like adjust that. So the rest of it pretty straightforward. Adjust your company name. Obviously if you don't want certain things on there, maybe you don't want this, I really recommend not deleting the rows, because as you do that, it's gonna like shrink the actual document size. And what that's gonna actually lead to, I'll just kind of like jump out of here for a sec, is you actually want to try and keep it relatively the same size, because then it fits like perfectly in like an 8.5 by 11 like PDF. If you start to like adjust too many of the row and column sizes beyond kind of how it's templated, it starts to kind of like ruin the formatting. So as much as you can, if you don't want certain like bits of info, avoid, if you can, like going in and deleting rows and columns, but instead either just like select the actual thing you want to get rid of and just hit delete, or you can honestly just like select it and hit like clear formatting. So moving forward, the one thing I really wanted to convey was basically how this calculator works. So obviously this cost column is calculated by these two being multiplied, right? So for instance, to make this like really easy, DP rate for a 12-hour day, maybe that's, the gig that you're invoicing for. Say you did one work. So the quantity would be like how many of the thing did you do? So if your DP rate was for 1 day, your quantity would be for 1. And then say your day rate is 1,000. So boom, you'll see that the cost is adjusted. But I wanted to include this because some people might think to like immediately start to click on the cost, and you can see you're already getting hit with like, wait, how do I edit the cost? So be very mindful. The cost is calculated by the quantity and the unit price columns. So just adjust these and this will auto adjust. And obviously we have these other like lines for services, but if, for instance, maybe you only need to invoice for DPing, you don't have any other like kit rentals or other things, you can honestly just hit delete after selecting them and you'll see that this auto updated. So there's your invoice, 1,000. Pretty straightforward. And lastly, we've included kind of like 4 of what we feel like are the most popular ways to get paid: wire transfer, PayPal, Zelle, paper check. You could also like sub out PayPal or Zelle for like a QuickBooks link. But for instance, if like you're working with a client and you know that they're paying via wire transfer, for instance, and you don't even want to confuse the client with these other ones, like I said, instead of going over here and like deleting these columns, which is honestly just gonna like ruin a lot of the formatting, just honestly like hover which one you want to delete, hold shift and click to like the other corner. And if you just right click, you can hit like clear all, and it'll remove pretty much all the text, and it'll adjust the formatting a little bit. But if you delete the column, it starts to like drastically readjust the scaling of the invoice. And then when you go to export it, it may not just look that clean for your client. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I want to keep this video super short, just show you how to use and adjust some of these columns to get the most out of this invoice template. Hope you enjoy it, and yeah, keep creating.